Hans Christian Andersen, the Danish author, once said, "To travel is to live." But if you were to travel with your friends and do things together that brings you all closer as a team, well, then it becomes a heady cocktail. To make you all understand what team building is all about, you've got to meet Rajiv Sharma, founder CorporateCalibre. Rajiv's job involves using the outdoors and the adventure sports it offers to conduct team building activities. And to understand his job a little better, I traveled with him to Panther Adventure Resort owned by Snow Leopard Adventures Private Limited. Panther Adventure Resort is situated on National Highway 58 on the Rishikesh Badrinath Road, a few hundred meters beyond the Shivpuri bridge. An early morning, Rajiv and I took a cab and headed for the New Delhi railway station. The porters in red shirts, the surging crowds, and all the pushing and shoving, it seemed nothing had changed. The very smell of the platforms got me all excited as we got on to the New Delhi Dehradun Shatabdi. Our destination was Haridwar. A few hours later, after traveling in comfort, we reached Haridwar, the holy city where millions of Hindus converge. The Panther Adventure Resort is among the very few resorts that has its own parking. Camp Panther, the flagship property of Snow Leopard Adventures, is set up on 5 acres of terrace fields and offers 45 units that includes 8 air-conditioned cottages and 37 tents that are supported by air coolers and air conditioners. Asta Bir Maharjan, who has been working for the last 29 years with Snow Leopard Adventures, talks high of the Panther Adventure Resort.
Obviously, rafting, everything has been grown up vastly from the time when I started in '93. And we used to only have 3-4 outfitters which used to run the rafting. But today, there's more than over 300 companies applying the rafting trip every day.
He says the resort caters to corporates, school children, international students, and normal tourists. Everyone looks forward to river rafting, which is the main activity. He vouches that safety standards for adventure sports at Panther Adventure Resort is very high, unlike for those fly-by-night operators who conduct river rafting all across River Ganges. And talking of river rafting, it's best left to Rajiv Sharma to explain things.
So one of the best things about using the outdoors is the bonding happens naturally. So when in any situation a person feels that he needs help or he needs to help somebody else, you tend to help that person. Especially in the river, when we are out on the river and we feel somebody who's fallen off the raft and somebody reaches out to help, the bonding starts to build up. And of course, you play a lot of other games to build it and keep it there and make people understand why we do this, especially for the corporates. It makes a lot of sense. But individuals who come here form bonds which last a lifetime. So we do a lot of programs for universities, for MBA students who are now making it mandatory for students to go through an exercise like this with safety in place. So the biggest key here is the safety. So you need to use the right equipment, you need to use the right camps. So for example, the snow leopard camp that we use, so they're very high on safety and very high on the quality of equipment that they use. And that's why we've been using them for the past 35 years.
Not to forget is Biru, the trip leader who has been leading rafting trips on the Ganges for the last several years. Incidentally, the Zipline activity operated by the resort involves a 482 meters one-way zip ride above the river Ganges at an altitude of around 80 meters. In order to acclimatize people of how to do a zip line, they are given a short brief on the ground by the trainers, and the techniques of grabbing the zip line are explained at length. Once the lessons are over, you can zip the 482 meters one way and the 482 meters back to the base. After loads of fun and being convinced by the fact that adventure sports need to be an integral part of team building exercise for corporates, it was time to head back to New Delhi. We reached the crowded Haridwar station and simply stared at the surging crowds and the train shuttling by. We were happy that our travel had gone good.